Hey guys, 26 Engineering here. Today we're going to be covering our KRC kit for the RB26. This is going to allow you to run a aftermarket power steering pump on the RB26. You'll be using either your stock pulley off of your 32, 33, or 34. Do have plans to have a billet pulley coming out soon, just working through that. Anyways, let's get to the kit. So it's going to come in this nice fancy box. It'd be a QR code to get to our website there, as well as on the inside cover here there'll be a QR code in the corner here to get to our YouTube videos, which will be this instructional video and explanation of what you see and what you're going to get in the kit. It's going to come with all the main brackets to bolt this to your engine, a tensioner, the pump itself, the hardware to bolt all this together. You're going to need your own hardware to bolt to the engine. You can reuse the factory stock bolts, or you can go with some aftermarket, and there's actually a belt back in here. So that's what you're going to get in the kit. We'll come over here and we'll go over the parts more in detail and show you how to install the kit on your engine. Alright, as you can see here, we've already mounted the side bracket up on the side of the engine. This back hole is slotted, and that's for your factory pulling your stock bracket off. Sometimes you can't get that bolt out all the way, so your factory bracket's slotted so you can pull it out and install this one in the same manner. Now you can do this full installation on a bench, bring the whole unit over and install on your engine. This is just the way I'm doing it. You can do it either way. Alright, we'll get to the next portion of this pump installation. You're going to start next with this middle bracket. There's a protruding point that's going to go towards the back of the engine. And you're going to take your two M10 by 90 millimeter bolts with lock washers. You're going to place them through the tensioner bracket, and you're going to slide those through the two holes in the middle plate, like so. And then this will bolt up to the side bracket, main mounting bracket. Alright, now it's important to leave the three main bolts loose so this bracket has some slide to it. That'll be used to adjust your pulley offset to your crank pulley. These bolts here can go ahead and be torqued down to 30 foot-pounds. You can use Loctite on the threads, and I would recommend that, as well as the lock washers here as well. This main piece will never need to come back apart. It can stay pretty solid, so go ahead and do that here. And then next we will mount the idler pulley and tensioner. Again, it's going to be your 65 millimeter M10 with lock washer. It's up to you if you want to use Loctite on this one as well. It won't hurt it. Just don't use red, use blue. The lock washer will be sufficient as well in this, and you will set this here shortly, but for now we'll rotate it around to give us the most clearance for our belt. This will also be a 30 foot-pound torque on these three M10s, and then we'll install the support bracket next. The support bracket is asymmetrical. It doesn't matter which direction that it goes on the back here, but what does matter is there are two different length M8 bolts. These require only Loctite. The shorter 20 millimeter goes into the side plate here, and you'll be able to tell because it's a thinner piece of material. This is actually a lot longer, thicker piece up top, so the longer bolt will go up top. Again, I'm not installing the thread locker for the demonstration purposes, but you will do that. So again, we're going to be leaving everything mostly loose until we get this back bracket on, and then we will actually torque these two bolts. For demonstration purposes, I will not be doing that, but that is the process. So what you would do is, with your Loctite installed on these two M8s, you'll torque these two down to 15 foot-pounds, and then you will follow up by torquing these two down to 30 foot-pounds. Then the bracket will still be loose for adjustment, and you'll install the pump next. The pump will come with 2 long M8s. You will install those into the pump, and you will install the pump like so. Sometimes these pumps will leak. They're tested by KRC before they leave, so they are full of fluid, so be careful when you are unboxing it and you're moving it around. It will, like it just did there, dump some fluid out. So temporarily we will install this pump. We'll grab our pulley and put that on here next. Again, we're not going to torque these down yet. We're going to be waiting until we install our belt. So let me grab the pulley and we'll get that installed. Alright, I've got a factory stock pulley here. Take note that there is one side that does not have the spline and one side that does have the spline. When you install this pulley, you will see the spline side needs to go out. You'll see good engagement on your spline here on the end. If you for some reason have this pulley backwards, it will still install, but it's going to be kind of wobbly on there. It's not going to be right, and your offset will not be right. So just make sure you get this pulley installed the right direction here. Go ahead and line up your holes for your 2 bolts. You'll need to access those 2 as you install the belt. So just temporarily, I will put the nut on here. And this is, I believe, 50 foot-pounds as well to torque to. Make sure you torque this because this will come off. If you don't install the washer that is included in the kit, I do not have it on there. But you will need to install that when you put this on and torque it down. You'll wait to torque this until you have your belt installed. That way you have something to hold against this from just rotating. So we'll have that installed. Next we're going to grab our belt out of our kit. Alright, once you have your pulley installed, you can temporarily tighten the 2 bolts holding this. Everything else should be torqued except for the mounting bolts to the engine. We should be able to slide this forward and backwards to align our belt. And I found the best way to do that is take a large straight edge, hold it flush across the front of the crank pulley, and then you will use that to also flush up your pulley on your pump. That should get you really straight. You'll be able to look over from the top, also make sure you're really straight. When that's all set, you can go ahead and tighten down all 3 of these to the factory spec. I don't actually have that off the top of my head right now, but I'll go ahead and post it below in the video so you guys can torque that. So at this point, everything except for the 2 mounting bolts holding the pump on and the tensioner should be all torqued down. So we'll go ahead and grab our belt, and what we will do is we will loosen the top bolt until it is completely free of the threads, and then we will actually rotate this pump down like so, and that gives us the extra that we need to install our belt. We'll start with it around the crank. We'll come around the back side of the main pulley here, and you can move it a little bit if you have to, and it should slide right in like so. And then what we'll do is take the pump and rock it back into its position and install the top M8. And at this point you can torque down both of these M8s. You should be able to still rotate the belt a tiny bit to get back to these openings here. If not, you might have to just play with it as you install the belt and rotate the pump back up. You can torque these 2 bolts to 15 foot-pounds as well. So all the M8s get 15 foot-pounds, and all the M10s on this kit get 30 foot-pounds. Once that's complete, we're ready to set the tension. Now, I don't have anything super tight on this bracket, so it might flex a little bit here. But so what you're going to do is you're going to put a M5 Allen key in the side of this tensioner, and you're going to rotate this around. Doesn't matter which direction you go. I prefer to the left and down until your belt is sufficiently tight. You don't want it extremely tight, but you want it fairly tight. It's hard to really gauge how tight it is. You don't need it extremely tight. That's just what I want to emphasize. You can get by without it being so tight. There's a lot more belt wrap in this design. It's not going to slip on you. It's not going to come flying off. So go ahead, and when you get that set, you'll lock down the main M10 bolt to 30 foot-pounds there as well. And then now the setup is completely ready. You'll need to be running braided lines on this. Once those are installed and you've checked tight on all that, fill your reservoir all the way up with the front wheels off the ground of the car. Don't turn your engine on yet. Run your steering wheel lock to lock, 10-15 times, and then top off your reservoir. And if your reservoir dips too low, go ahead and top it off as well in between. You want to do that a lot. You want to make sure you get as much fluid in the system as you can. Then you'll fire the car up again with the front wheels still off the ground. You'll run it back and forth, lock to lock. You'll keep topping off that reservoir. Sometimes it can take quite a bit. A lot of times you don't do a full fluid flush on your power steering system. So when you replace everything, you put new lines on, brand new pump that's empty or for the most part empty of fluid, you're going to want to do that a lot. So it might squeal a little bit first. Don't be nervous. It won't hurt anything. It just has to get all those air bubbles and air pockets out of there. That can take some time. Might even take driving the car a little bit. Just check your reservoir and top it off again. But as far as any more details on this kit, you are able to adjust this flow control valve as well. You can order those through me. You can spec it for more or less assist. They're all going to come right in the middle with about your average steering feel. Obviously, more assist is a softer feel, more like your Cadillac. You're kind of floating. Less assist is going to be the more of a race car feel. It's going to feel like you're going to have less power steering assist, but it's not going to be hard to steer. It's just the feel in your hands and the steering wheel is going to be a little bit different. It's still running at 1600 psi, so the response time is still there. You're running so much pressure. The moment you crack the valve on that rack, it's going now, which is going to help on the less and more assist. So it's a great option. It deletes your HICUS. You don't have to worry about running and blocking things off and having a mess. This is a great performing pump. It's built for high performance like these engines are. So if this is your kit and you're installing it, good luck. If you do need something, reach out. Don't hesitate to ask. If you're looking at getting this kit, feel free to reach out to us at 26engineering.com to order your kit, or sales@26engineering.com if you have any questions on the kit. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video and checking out the installation of the kit.